Chapter 15. Then answered Eliphaz the Temanite, and said, Should a wise man utter vain knowledge, and fill his belly with the east wind? Should he reason with unprofitable talk, or with speeches wherewith he can do no good? Yea, thou castest off fear, and restrainest prayer before God. For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thine own lips testify against thee. Art thou the first man that was born, or wast thou made before the hills? Hast thou heard the secret of God, and dost thou restrain wisdom to thyself? What knowest thou that we know not? What understandest thou which is not in us? With us are both the gray-headed and very aged men, much elder than thy father. Are the consolations of God small with thee? Is there any secret thing with thee? Why doth thine heart carry thee away? And what do thy eyes wink at, that thou turnest thy spirit against God, and lettest such words go out of thy mouth? What is man that he should be clean, and he which is born of a woman that he should be righteous? Behold, he putteth no trust in his saints, yea, the heavens are not clean in his sight. How much more abominable and filthy is man, which drinketh iniquity like water? I will shew thee, hear me, and that which I have seen I will declare, which wise men have told from their fathers, and have not hid it, unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. A dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity the destroyer shall come upon him. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. He wandereth abroad for bread, saying, Where is it? He knoweth that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. Trouble and anguish shall make him afraid. They shall prevail against him, as a king ready to the battle. For he stretcheth out his hand against God, and strengtheneth himself against the Almighty. He runneth upon him, even on his neck, upon the thick bosses of his bucklers, because he covereth his face with his fatness, and maketh collops of fat on his flanks. And he dwelleth in desolate cities, and in houses which no man inhabited, which are ready to become heaps. He shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue, neither shall he prolong the perfection thereof upon the earth. He shall not depart out of darkness. The flame shall dry up his branches, and by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. Let not him that is deceived trust in vanity, for vanity shall be his recompense. It shall be accomplished before his time, and his branch shall not be green. He shall shake off his unripe grape as the vine, and shall cast off his flower as the olive. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepareth deceit. We see here in chapter 15 that Eliphaz the Temanite, who was the first of Job's friends to talk to him, basically has come close to having it. He says, should a wise man utter vain knowledge? In other words, you're gonna say stupid things and fill his belly with the east wind. Now, if you live where these guys live and there's a wind blowing from the east into your face, that's going to be an unprofitable wind because it's coming out of the desert. It's just going to dry things up. It is not ever going to rain. It's not ever going to do you any good. It's just going to be a total waste. Then it says, should he reason with unprofitable talk, or with speeches wherewith he can do no good? In other words, he's telling Job that all of his words mean nothing. In verse 16:6, he says, Thine own mouth condemneth thee, not me. It isn't anything that I've said that's been wrong. He says to Job, Your own lips testify against you. And then he asks some questions. And of course, there's an imagery here that was, art thou the first man that was born? In other words, are you, we're older than you. We've seen this sort of thing happen before. We know why it happens. Okay? We know why it happens. It happens because you are unrighteous. If you would quit protesting your innocence and get down to sincere repentance, then maybe you could sort of help ameliorate this, make this a little better than it is otherwise, or than it is right now. But that's basically what he's saying. Basically, verse 25, for he stretches out his hand against God and strengthens himself against the Almighty. And basically saying a sinful man does that. And he dwelleth in desolate cities and in houses which no man inhabits. In other words, his whole life is a waste. It's darkness. It's nothing is good that the unrepentant sinner has. And basically, he's saying in verse 34, for the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate. In other words, Job is being a hypocrite because it's obvious to them that he's being unrighteous. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the problems. And it's his hypocrisy that's causing him problems now. With friends like that, you don't need enemies.